This is your Sci-Fi Now. Welcome to my review of Colony's Season 2, Episode number 9, titled Tamam Shud. The mysteries of the show deepen starting with the title. The Tamam Shud case was a strange mystery where a man was found dead on an Australian beach. This is in our reality. In his pocket was a scrap of paper that said Tamam Shud, which means finished in Persian. And I apologize if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. The paper was torn from a book, and following a public appeal by the police, they found the exact copy of the book from which the words were torn. In the book was scribbled what appeared to be a cipher, but no one has been able to decipher it to this day. Based on this, before the show, I speculated in a post on Reddit that Hennessy might get murdered. And it turned out I was correct. I also thought Hennessy would have a cipher on his body, and Broussard gave him a flash drive last episode, so that could be true. The question is, who killed Hennessy? The pilot showed up right before this, so she might be a suspect. However, the gauntlet was stolen from Hennessy's safe, and Broussard told Katie that nobody knew the location of the gauntlet. And that's not true. Morgan knew. So I strongly suspect Morgan killed Hennessy. I suppose Broussard is another possibility. Also, there was a cipher found in Hennessy's lair on the calendar. Here's a good shot of it in case you want to try to decipher it, maybe using the technique from the first season, using books. Whose side is Emmett on? I've been suspicious of him from the start because of the way he just showed up, and also, I'm suspicious of the Red Hands because, they're red like the Red Hats. You'd think the rebels would at least change the color scheme. And they act a lot like they might be controlled opposition or, just a government false flag operation. The Red Hats raid the Bowman house to capture the children, and that just makes me all the more suspicious of the Red Hands because remember, the Red Hands raided the Bowman house, the other house, and potentially they were there to capture the children. So it may just be that the government wants the children, and it doesn't matter whether it's the Red Hands or the Red Hats that actually does the capturing. Another question is, which side is Bob on? Now, you'd think that Bob would be on the side of the government the way he talks. And indeed, this episode, he did an awful lot to undermine Will, but he did one huge thing to help him. When they found out that the kids had been rescued, he called off the operation, and he could have just played it cool and Will would not have known anything. But he got stabbed in the stomach by Will with an orange soda bottle as a reward for perhaps tipping him off that his kids were safe. And remember, Bob couldn't just say it directly because the whole place was swarming with surveillance. And then there's the question of what's going to happen with Helena and Proxy Alcala. Helena called Snyder at the end of the episode. Obviously, she wants Snyder's help to get rid of Alcala somehow. Once he gets rid of Alcala, then Helena might offer him his old job back, but I think she'll backstab him because the Raps tried to destroy the whole prison camp and Snyder was supposed to be there. So even if the Raps don't care that Snyder is still alive, Helena doesn't know that. She's going to be afraid to keep him around to promote him back to his old job. So she's going to backstab Snyder, I think, as soon as Alcala's out of the picture. But Snyder's always ahead of the game. He's going to turn the tables on Helena somehow. I don't know if Snyder's going to wind up as proxy or as governor even, or I think it's more likely he'll wind up on the run with Will and his family and the pilot. And that pilot might even wind up to be working with Proxy. That could be part of his plan. Anything's possible at this point. I don't trust this pilot. This whole scene was uncomfortable to me. There's something wrong here, but I can't quite put my finger on what's going on. That's it for this week. Like and subscribe below, and I'll see you next week.